Welcome to the Becoming More podcast. We are more because of our freedom, and we have this freedom because of the people who were willing to fight for that freedom. Every single day, there are veterans out there fighting for us from the past and even today. They don't fight for their freedom. They fight for the good of all of us, for all of our freedom. So please take a moment to listen to these people who help veterans every day, adding value to them because of all they did for us. Happy Veterans Day.
Today, I have my friend Sean Mack and a pilot. Yes, you've taken us many places, Sean, I've got to tell you. And you graduated from Wisconsin University to go right into the Air Force to serve our country. And we're so appreciative of the many, many years that you gave to us and to our country to keep it safe and to give us the freedom that we all enjoy. You know, you've flown 15s, F-10s, F-16s. I don't know about you. I don't know about all these different airplanes. Now, my husband would, because you talk about it a lot with him. Yet you've been in Austin for 20 years. You're married with 4 children. And you started this program to help military people.
I have. Well, I just lied to you. I didn't really start it. Nick Powers, back in 2016, Nick Powers, a Marine combat soldier who was suffering and treating himself and his wife through heavy alcoholism. He ended up in the end of 2016 getting in the water and learning that diving actually healed him. His tinnitus went away. His physical pain started going away. And he thought, if this can work for me, we can do this for others. So in 2016, the first Marine came through, and his testimony was the same thing, that something changed in him and in his body and in his mind. And that's when I came on board. Nick invited me, and we started going from there.
So actually getting in the water helps to heal them.
It does. In fact, but Blue Mind, Wallace Nichols wrote in 2014, the prefaces from Jacques Cousteau's daughter, and it goes through a proof of how the ocean does have a healing power to it. Mm-hmm. It's not just the healing power, and I've just learned this lately. Dr. Joe Ditucci has learned that underwater, and he's the world champion. He spent 100 days underwater. But what happens is you gas nitrogen in your blood, and when it off gases, it actually produces stem cells.
So it puts stem cells into our brain and our body?
It does. It does. And this is getting fairly new information now. For years, we knew that the ocean healed, but now we're learning that the ocean and the pressure actually physically heals.
Okay, so we have this gentleman. He's been a Marine. We know coming back, you come back with a lot of trauma. And he's got this trauma, and it's very painful for him. So he treats that pain with alcohol.
Yes.
Because being an alcoholic, you drink to make some kind of pain go away. That's where it all starts. So if we get to that pain.
Right. And it's very common in veterans to cope with that, with alcohol.
Well, it makes sense. Alcohol and drugs, something to make their brain not remember that trauma, because that's painful for them.
Yes.
And the conscious brain says, just don't drink.
Right.
Right. It's the unconscious brain that says, I'm in pain. Do this. So how did he even think about going to the ocean?
He didn't. He just was invited to go scuba diving, and he learned that something's changing in my body and my mind. So he has been clean and sober for years now. We don't allow any alcohol because of the coping mechanism. The problem with alcohol is that it's a very temporary fix. It will stop you for a day or two, but there's still 9 veterans a day putting a gun in their mouth.
See, that's the part with all the suicide rate and people, we don't hear about those kind of things.
We don't.
And because that's happening, you chose to do something about it. And that's what I love about what you're doing, this foundation that you're helping with. So let's get into what you actually do.
Sure, absolutely. On the board, my major position is fundraising because that's...
You need money to make anything happen.
We're a unique organization, though. If you go on our website, warfighterscuba.org, you will find all of our financials linked right to the website. Show me another veteran organization that has their books wide open.
Well, no, I don't even know of a foundation that has their books wide open for people to see. So you show us, because we have donated it to this, because it's a great cause. Any way that we can help our veterans, after all, they've helped us, right? If we remember, this is a way that we can give back for the service that they've given so freely. Because let's face it, you don't get paid a whole lot being in the military.
Well, and what's big about this is, when you join Warfighter Scuba, you agree that there's no compensation. Nobody takes a dime. Nick Powers has done this for years. He's never been paid a penny. I've never been paid a dime. None of our board members. The instructors that come here, one of them is Joe Hahn, which people will know. He is the SEAL in the world. And he has joined us, and he's an instructor for us. And he also does not take a dime.
So you fly the veterans?
Yes.
Okay.
Fly them for free, put them up in 4-star resort, if we can find it down there in Roatan, for free. And all the food and everything is provided for them. That's
Fabulous. Now, they get to go once for free.
They get to go once for free. And there's a story. Rich came through in 23, and he was paid for and found out that he had terminal cancer. In the midst of all he's got 3 Purple Hearts and suffers from PTSD, terminal cancer, came through a program, absolutely exploded. He came back and paid for his wife, who was divorcing him. They came through in early 24, and they're now back together again.
Oh.
And now they're bringing next month their son to go through with them again. It's just a beautiful.
That is a beautiful story. So having these people, how did they get involved? Like, let's say someone's listening to this, or they know of somebody and they're suffering from PTSD. What did they do to be able to, did they put in to go, and you have to look over all the applications?
We do. You go to warfighterscuba.org, and there's an application there. Now, there's thousands of veterans that are applying. And so we've had to make a discriminator where you have to have been wounded. You have to have a Purple Heart to apply right now, because we can only put through about 50 or 60 a year. We have that much funding. But you'll get online, you'll fill out your application. We will review them. We will call you and interview you, and it'll be a thumbs up or maybe later.
So you take 50 or 60 and you have thousands. If you had more money, could you do more?
We could do so much more. And the problem we keep running into is the VA, you would think, would be very instrumental in giving us money to help veterans. But the last 3 years, we've filled out all the applications to the T. And this year they told us we were 8 cents off. And so they denied us.
My word. So you have to do this every year?
We do. We have to go through a grant writing process every year.
And you haven't made it yet?
Nope, we haven't made it yet. And I have such an in. My mother-in-law is a professional grant writer, and she is good. Yeah.
So now she's writing this. She's professional. I know. We're just praying next year that this one goes through. Yeah.
Right.
Let's get back to what this actually does.
Sure.
So you fly them down there, and if someone's listening to this and you have a way into the airlines, for heaven's sakes, come on.
That's our biggest cost is air.
Because you've got friends down there in Roatan that help with the resort. I know they've got a beautiful resort, and they just give and give and give to that country and to help. And so you set these people up the very first day. When they get in the water, what starts happening?
Very good question. May I back up for just a minute? So these soldiers are elite fighting men with a team, and they become closer than a brother with their team. And you can imagine they're out one day and boom, they're blown up. They wake up in a hospital. Maybe their legs are gone or arm. Their team is gone. They're totally alone. And until maybe their spouse will come over to Afghanistan or maybe rejoin her, but they're alone. And so what we've learned is we always invite their spouse to come with them. And we pay for spouses as well, because our mission is about not just preventing suicide, it's preventing divorce and suicide. So to answer your question, now they come down, we team them with someone, hopefully their spouse, and we get them in the water. And Nick is an instructor for SSI, which is the organization that gives us equipment, it helps fund us, and they've just been beautiful to our veterans. So SSI equips them, we get them in the pool, and we start doing small little teaching modules.
Okay.
And then doff the face mask and get underwater.
So the basics of scuba diving.
Right. And then once they get the tank on in the pool, then we do the buoyancy. Buoyancy is the hardest thing. So we get them to be able to float underwater, neutral, and then it goes from there. Then we get into the water and on the beach and go through all of the emergency procedures. Like, for example, one of the really neat things is buddy breathing. You have to trust your partner to take this out of your mouth and give you life, give you breath. So like Rich and his wife that were getting divorced that are now staying together, they learned how to communicate underwater just with sign language. So now they've learned how to communicate in a different manner than they were before.
So it's interesting because here they are, and loneliness is a big thing.
Terrible.
We are human beings created to have fellowship, created to be one with another. And when you're all of a sudden just cut off from everybody, I don't think people realize how devastating that is. I mean, here you are, one on top of the world with all of your friends, and the next moment you're in the depths of depression because there's no friends around. And they can't even reach out to them because maybe they're in the hospital, maybe they're no longer around, maybe they passed.
And unfortunately, the treatment is, here's some drugs. That'll fix you.
World. So here's the interesting part to me. Now you're buddy breathing with this person. Does the teamwork start to come back?
Absolutely. That's like I was saying, you're blown up, you've lost your team, and now underwater, you've got a team back, and you start to connect with not just your buddy, but with the rest of the team too. We have pictures of a gentleman that had no legs, and when he was losing his tank, everybody surrounded him and pushed the tank back up and reattached it to his buoyancy compensator, and it was just, it's fun to watch.
Okay, now my mind is sitting here going, because Tony, my husband, whom you know, he worked with paraplegics, and I mean they played basketball and football, and I mean they're in wheelchairs, right? And so here you take someone and you put them in the water. I don't know how to stay afloat without kicking my legs, right?
Jump on our website and take a look.
I think we need to do that. We'll put that in the podcast for all of you.
Absolutely.
So you can actually see this. Now, do all 50 people like form a circle, or do you have?
We only bring 6 to 8 at a time.
Oh, 6 to 8 at a time. Okay, that's good. Right, because I couldn't imagine this big circle, and that'd be too hard. So 6 to 8 people.
Yes.
And so now they start bonding. They start forming that fellowship underwater.
Right. And you'll see at dinner time after a couple of days when they've been forming underwater.
Yeah.
Dinner time, they'll start to open up. This is what happened to me, which they wouldn't talk about before.
No, there's these fighting soldiers.
Right.
They're strong. They're Marines.
We don't have a special time where what happened to you?
Yeah.
But they open up on their own many times.
And that allows that subconscious mind to actually start healing.
Yes.
Healing without the drugs, healing. It's interesting because we know that you can't just give up drugs or give up alcohol without substituting a new way of thinking. Your brain has to come back to normal. So here it is over here in PTSD, and now we've got to get back to normal. How long does it take underwater to go from here to there?
Well, it varies. It varies, of course. What's really interesting about scuba diving, everything turns off. When you're underwater and you're breathing out of a tank, there's no vocal. It's just, that's off.
Yeah.
The vision is totally different. It's this blue world that is so beautiful that God created and is letting you now enjoy it differently. It's very soft because your buoyancy is neutral, so you're not having to work. Guys without legs can get around just fine. And so they can do everything that we all can do. And that of itself is so healing. We actually had a guy come and no legs. Now think about that. And you go, well, yeah, no way. But what happened was they had a harness and a handler the handler was on top, and the gentleman would move his head and they would take him to the right. He'd take him left. He would move his head to the left. And it was wonderful to watch him doing what everyone else is doing.
And so now he's not somebody that is different from the rest of the world. He's actually fitting in and feeling equal.
Part of the team.
Because see, that's the part. I think they go through, and I don't know because I haven't been there yet, in studying the brain, they go through where they don't feel like they're part of anything. They feel like an outcast.
True. Very true.
So you're putting them in a place, and now they're finding stem cells are actually forming. Isn't that wild? I think that's so good. Yeah. So talk to us about that.
Well, I don't really know the mechanism that happens in your brain, but what doctors say is that when the nitrogen is forced into your bloodstream, something changes. And when the nitrogen comes back out, stem cells are released into your body.
So they're actually healing their brain.
Healing from the inside out.
Which is the way we always heal, right? Everything in our world comes from the inside out. And that's the interesting part, in my book, I say you either grow within or you go without. And that's what you're doing. You're helping them grow inside, and it shows outwardly.
That's the beauty of it. It's inside out, and it replaces the drugs. It replaces the confusion, and the tinnitus is released, and people relax.
Well, you've got to where people now, their brain is getting back to optimal performance, whereas before they were doing all that stuff because it wasn't at optimal performance. And a lot of people say, oh, well, they have an illness, they have all this stuff, they're mental. No, they're really not. They just need help.
They do need help. Something has changed. PTSD changes your awareness of the world, and you go inside.
Well, awareness is the first step to change, bad and good.
That is so true.
So you're making them aware of a new world, the blue world, called the blue mind, the surprising science that shows how being near, in, on, or underwater. I love this near.
Near.
You don't even have to be in it. You can be near water, in water, on water, or underwater. Maybe that's why I love living on a lake.
Absolutely. There's a peacefulness to it.
It says here, I just opened this up, so I'm going to put you on the spot here, Sean, but it says there was significant improvement on every measure following the ROR trip. A month later, veterans reported that their PTSD symptoms and perceptual stress had gone down 19%. Physical symptoms of stress decreased by 28%. Sleep quality improved 11%. Depression lessened, this is good, 40%. And with all those people, and the anxiety went down 31%. Feelings of serenity increased 67%. Assuredness by 33%. And a positive mood went up 40%. Now, thank you, Lord, for letting me just pull that page. I love statistics. Research is literally something that the 2009 researchers from the University of Southern Maine and the University of Utah, right there in Salt Lake City, where I was born, Veterans Administration studied 67 veterans on 3 occasions, 1 month before and only 1 month after. One month did this to have them be more connected.
Absolutely. We see that routinely. One trip, 1 week changes lives.
So you heard about this. When did you just say, I'm in 100%? Because you fly a lot of the people down there.
Yes. To answer your question, flying fighters isn't like being on the ground at all. I didn't see anything that these gentlemen saw. And when Nick talked to me about what he'd gone through, I went through a program called Discovery here years ago, which is a whole other thing, but it was a self-help from Dr. Phil. He generated it. And when I went through, I learned that one or two people can help others. And so with that mindset, when Nick approached me with what's going on in his life, and then I read this book, we can do this. We can heal this.
Well, and you are healing them. And that's the greatest part about this whole thing.
It's a great team. We have some wonderful, like Johan, wonderful instructor.
The best Navy SEAL. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Well, don't they have I love their slogan that there's 3 ways to be in the world. You can give up, give in, or go all out, or give it all you got.
Right.
That's it.
Another gentleman that's joined our board is Omar Avila, and his wife, Kristen. His call sign is Crispy. He was blown up. 200 pounds of explosives blew him up, and he lost his leg, and 75% of his body was burned. So we call him Crispy.
When you said that, the reason I kind of smiled is Don Yeager had him at an event, and he spoke with us, and I was able to meet him.
Okay.
And so that's why I kind of smiled. What a delightful man.
Isn't he? From being blown up in the hospital, you wake up and you're...
Oh, come on. People act like a victim if they have a hangnail. I can't go to work today, right? I mean, now I'm being facetious there. Yet at the same time, sometimes we look at our life and we think we really have it bad.
Well,
and we don't.
We don't. He turned his disfiguration into a challenge, used nature, the outdoors, to heal him, and scuba diving to heal him, and became the world champion bench presser. Guy's amazing.
You know, when we can help people train their brains to a new way of thinking, train their brains to optimal power, it's amazing what they can do. There's really no stopping them.
But you have to get through that one little click in your brain first, like you said. You can feel alone, or you can feel just destroyed, or you can use it.
Or doesn't it take somebody to come alongside you? This is what I've read so much research about, where people literally, they feel alone and they generally don't come back by themselves.
I agree.
It takes a friend, a support, somebody that says, hey, I know those people over there don't want anything to do with you, yet I do.
Right.
And I'm here to remind you of how great you are.
And that's key. And when we meet them, that's what we do. We put our arms around them and welcome.
I'm telling you, if you aren't getting teary-eyed over this, I mean, I feel your energy coming through. You can tell you just love these people and you love on these people and you accept them. And I think that's a big thing. I don't know that people feel accepted. I went to France and it was during D-Day. I was on the beaches. The French people treat Americans and the war heroes, the veterans that were there, they treat them like gold. Much better than we treat them.
I understand.
And so you're sitting there going like, you're not telling me anything I don't know. I didn't know that. I mean, when I see a veteran, I thank him for his service. And sometimes if I have time, I'll ask him to tell me some of the stories, which are fascinating when they do. Yet over there, it was like the people just gathered around them in a way that we don't ever do here. And if you've watched the movie, The Girl Who Wore Freedom, have you seen that movie?
I have not.
It's a documentary about D-Day in France and what they do for our veterans. And then they came to United States and followed the veterans around to see how the American citizens treated them. Oh my, it may make you really wonder about who we truly are. And that's why I just honor you so much for what you're doing for the veterans, especially with PTSD, because we don't understand what that really is.
You really can't until you experience it, or you stand beside someone with real, no kidding, PTSD, and you see the changes as the week goes on too. You figure out, he was really in a bad place. This was, I've asked people, when's the last time you've thought about committing suicide? The gun is loaded underneath the pillow upstairs. It
just breaks my heart because there's so many every single day that don't have this help, that don't know about this help. And we need more funds to do it.
We
right?
do.
We always do. Money's like oxygen. You need it to breathe. And if you're going to help other people, it takes money. You know, a lot of people go, oh, I'm very happy. I've got enough. Well, then give it to somebody else. Make more because you got the capability, right? So let's go into some of these things, though. You've stood by somebody. You know, my dad fought in World War II. Lied about his age to get in, which a lot of the boys did, right, back then, because they really wanted to fight for their country. And the only story he ever told me was he was in the Navy on a ship, and he had to literally push. He was in the shower, or he would have been at that gun. And he got out of the shower. I mean, you don't dry off. You don't. No. I mean, you go, right? I mean, you just grab something, towel around you, and you run for your gun, so to speak. And he had to literally push his best friend away because he'd already been shot. When my dad heard a car backfire, he hit the ground. That's how it is in our mind. It is so etched in our unconscious mind. And people would go, what just happened, Sam? And he'd go, nothing, because he wouldn't talk about it. No. At least you're allowing these people to talk, to feel safe, to say, hey, I feel broken. My brain feels broken. How many of them will actually reach out for help?
Well, in one way or another, all of them do eventually, but it's very different.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear some screaming in the next room at 3:00 in the morning from a nightmare, you try to connect with the guy at breakfast, you know, and just be a vessel for him to just pour into.
What do you say at that point? Because you're there at 3 a.m, you hear somebody screaming. Now, the next morning, you're at breakfast. You know who it is. How do you even approach that?
With love and quietness. Talking to him will never do a thing, but be in a place where he can talk allows them to open. So you everything okay? You know, I'm here and I love you, brother.
So when they first come down, they're probably not real open.
They are not very open.
About how many days does it take before they really start opening up?
Well, I've seen guys that first afternoon open up that, wow, especially if their spouse is there and they're actually doing things together. And it's not always a divorcing spouse.
No.
A lot of times it's a good relationship, and that is very healing. But after 3 or 4 days, pretty much everybody is in a different place and coming along, especially when they're underwater and they're helping each other as a team. And there's this camaraderie that they've lost years ago.
Yeah. So now they feel like a team. They feel like somebody again, right?
And not only is somebody going to help me, I can help somebody else.
There's something about being in the service of other people. That's why they got in the military in the first place. Right? Well, how often do they go into the water?
We dive every day after
For about
the
how
first
long?
initial 2 or 3 dives, mostly 2 dives out in the boat. We'll go out maybe a couple of miles to a really good place, and we'll make this big get together and jump in the water together, and away we go. So we'll be underwater an hour, hour and a half. We try to get down at least 1 atmosphere so that the nitrogen process can start.
Has there ever been a rough sea where you weren't able to go out?
You know, the problem with Florida is that there's a lot of current and there's a lot of waves. Roatan, I'll show you a picture with the rainbow on it, and it's glass and it's crystal clear water. And even the guys with no legs or missing an arm can just do fine because it's so calm and so beautiful. And that's why we're in Roatan.
That's why you chose to go there.
That's why, well, it ended up being a coincidence with Nick, but it's just beautiful.
Well, I've heard the country's absolutely beautiful. The people are beautiful.
That's true.
And I know the resort.
It is.
I've seen pictures of it. I've not been there yet.
And I do have to mention Infinity Bay. Infinity Bay has given us so many rooms that they're just, it's just wonderful.
See, things like that, you can't thank the people enough that help you like that.
That's a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Free rooms for
a week.
For 8 people.
Yes.
Right. But they've been so faithful in it.
Now, how often do you go down?
Once a month, we try to get a team together.
Once a month. So literally, you're taking 5 to 6 couples. There ever been more than 6?
8 or 10.
Oh, 8 to 10. You can do 100, 120.
Now we're starting to get more and more every time.
I bet.
We had a good year fundraising, which is still not much, but with all the SSI giving us equipment and Infinity Bay and Grand Roatan giving us rooms, it's really helping.
And, if everybody in America just gave $1, that would help.
Gosh.
Now, let's say right now, some of our listeners are watching this, you can do YouTube or listen to it, and they go, you know what? I do want to give to help the military. I do want to help bring these soldiers to where they know that they are loved and appreciated and we value their lives. Yeah. Keep them from taking their own lives.
Right.
Where would they go?
They would go to warfighterscuba.org.
Warfighterscuba.org.
And there's a link there. And to be a little more fun, Omar Crispy does raffles, different things like custom weapons. It's just a unique thing, but you can just donate there, or you can participate in a raffle, or we do a shoot every year out in Dripping Springs out at Hog Heaven.
Yes.
And
for those of you not in Texas, come on now. That's so fun. Dripping Springs is just right around, literally so close to Lakeway where we're at right now.
Right.
Close to Lake Travis.
And Hank and Lisa Seal let us use their property every year, and they're just so supportive.
What do you do at Hog Heaven?
Well, we do different contests, trap shooting, and Joe Hahn will give you a solo course to bring your level of shooting up where it's never been.
The Navy SEAL is going to help you learn how to shoot. So when does that take place?
So mostly in the morning, and then we'll do the contests, the trap shooting and sport clays in the afternoon. It's just a big fun thing. And then we have a dinner.
How fun. So every month, once a year?
Once a year, September.
In September.
Yes.
I'm surprised you don't go pheasant hunting somewhere in September.
We have other things. Well, my passion, my favorite thing in life is rough grouse.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So you're over fundraising, and how many people could go to Hog Heaven?
We'd hope to get 200. We would love.
How many could go? Could 500 go or 200?
We could do 500 people. Absolutely. We've had almost 100.
That's fun. So how much is that?
$500 to...
You're a kid.
No.
$500 to learn from a Navy SEAL how to shoot.
Or you can buy a table to do the trap contest, which is $1,000 for your 4 shooters.
In September. How fun. And so you can get 4 shooters to a table.
Yes.
And how much is the table?
$1,000, or there's another $2,000 premium table.
And the premium table is what?
Well, it includes all the ammo, just little incidental dinner.
It's that VIP, right?
It is.
It's a VIP and a VIP.
It's fun. It is really fun.
Well, you should charge more to be at the table with him, right? Yeah. If you have table.
You would be amazed. Joe, he's the toughest SEAL in the world. And I've seen him give basic instruction to a couple of women that had never shot before. And he was so amazing just to watch him. He's a gentle soul.
See, you should charge extra to have dinner with him. I'm telling you.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'll help you out here. We'll get this going to where you're going to get more money.
We have a major raffle there. So we've got all kinds of different things, including, scuba gear and rifles and pistols.
It's Texas.
It is.
Come on, let's go for it, right? Now, where did they stay? Do you have a hotel that you work with, or did they stay in Austin?
We do have a hotel that we work with, but most everyone just does their own accommodations.
Grab their own cars, rent them.
Right.
Yeah, Austin is real easy to get to with Southwest or American, Delta. They all fly in, right?
But we do have on the website a recommended hotel right down the road.
Okay. And this is on the website again, which is?
Sure is. Warfighter Scuba.
Okay. We're going to say that quite a few times because we want to get people here. I think it would be fun. Maybe they should have their own meeting. Like if you have a team and you want to rally your team together, bring them and do something at a hotel yourself, like the day before, and then bring them out to Hog Heaven, right?
Be fun.
Give money and then go back and find out, because you could really build a team, right?
Yeah.
That would be teamwork. and you'd be in competition with other people. This would be
This
fun.
would be a good thing.
I know. Maybe we should get some people to challenge each other.
Maybe a team of 24.
I know. You know what? If you had one team against another team, that would be fun in the skeet shooting, because a lot of people haven't done that before.
Right?
Right? Been a long time since I went skeet shooting. So the
September.
shotguns that you use, do you have like 10 gauge for us people that aren't real? I mean, or 12 gauge, or
12
some of
gauge
those.
is normal, but
Yeah.
it's not a big load. You know, we use 7.5 shot. You could use your 20 gauge. That's no
A
problem.
20 gauge. That's actually, I have one of those. So that
There you go.
Yeah. Going pheasant hunting, those 12 gauges kind of
They boom.
cut back a little bit. But here's the greatest part. You will have fun.
That's
and even
it.
if you don't go skeet shooting, you can watch. What else are they going to do out there?
There's fly fishing content.
Oh, now there you go.
There's a
That's one.
pond, so we can do fly fishing and or if you just want to get on a 4-wheeler and drive around and watch the shooting.
Now wait, they could go 4-wheeling. You can go fishing. I know we're talking about all of the Marines and the military people and how this is helping them, yet they can't go down there unless we help them. And here's a way we can have fun while we're helping somebody. That's a win-win situation.
Let's do it.
I know this would be fun. Do you have a date set as yet?
Not yet.
And
September.
sometime in September.
It will be, yes. We tried Veterans Day a couple of years ago, and it was so busy that just didn't work out. So September was better.
Yeah, September is a good time. Kiddos back in school. Is it on a weekend generally?
It
Yeah,
is.
good.
It's just
good.
a Saturday afternoon, just one day.
So, Sean, what is it like to actually be in the water on a boat, being around these people for the week?
Well, that is the whole crux of what's happening with you start on the shore and everyone pitches in putting all the equipment together, which is kind of a big deal too. Some people can do more than others. And then we get up on the boat and it's a beautiful boat ride, maybe a half hour off to a gorgeous location. So we get a chance to chit chat with each other, and some just put their hair back and let the breeze go over them. And it's all anticipation of what's going to happen next. And when we get our equipment all on and we start getting in the water, everyone hangs around the boat because you never really know what can happen. Somebody's buoyancy compensator is not full and you just have to grab them before they go down. You know, we just all take care of each other. So then we're all in the water and you have your buddy, then you go down. Many times I don't have a buddy. I'm just off to the periphery, just watching. And so I get a very unique perspective of watching this, of I gave this a little tug or put this back together, and just the little things underwater that make so much difference. But what I've really learned is that everyone wants to help. Everyone wants to contribute. So when that starts coming out, that's the part that heals so much. When I can actually help you and I want to now, that makes a difference. That's the part that's so beautiful. And then it's like flying. When you're kicking your feet and you're right above the coral, when you lift your head, you fly up. When you put your head down, you fly down. So they have this feeling of almost flying, this freedom of doing this together, almost like fish. And it's beautiful to watch.
I wish you were here. Maybe you can feel this through the sound of his voice, the tonalities, or watching it. Yet being here, the energy, the caring, the love that's exuding, I get a very peaceful feeling. And I'm sure that's what you feel when you're there.
I get as much as I give. That's the beautiful thing. Our mission at Warfighter Scuba is to serve veterans and Gold Star families affected by the traumas of war and create opportunities to prevent divorce and suicide. No one left behind, no one left alone.
It's so great, especially that alone. There is an epidemic of loneliness in our country right now.
There is. You know, we make fun of everything, but no one tells a joke about loneliness.
No, we really don't. Now that you mentioned that, no one. And fellowship is so important.
Yes.
We text now instead of communicating. And it's like, I called 12 people today. One picked up the phone. The others texted me back said, hey, how are things going? I'm in a meeting right now or whatever, and we're all busy. I get that. Yet the texting goes fairly quickly.
Mhm.
Yet, is that really communicating? It's not really bonding, is it? Just
agree.
words
I
on
agree.
words on a phone.
This is what it's all about. And you know, they say that you can never take anything with you. You know, when you die, go to
Yeah.
heaven, you can't take anything with you. I disagree. I think we can
can
take this with us.
I disagree with that too. You can't take any materialistic thing, yet I do believe that you can take your knowledge,
And this
connectiveness, relationship, everything, good and bad, stems from a relationship. All the problems I've had is by not forming great
Sure.
relationships. All the great things I've had is from forming relationships,
Definitely.
right?
I agree.
It's
That's
so
everything.
interesting. And it's all about energy. It's that connecting through energy, and texting has no energy. Tonality has energy.
Well, that's what we're finding out.
Yeah.
The young generation being shallow.
Here's the interesting part, and I know this is really going off the deep end. Speaking about water, what the
Right.
heck is when they take phones, because a lot of the people, older people, don't give their passcodes to somebody, and it's face activated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that when you pass, there's no energy anymore? People forget this. They cannot open the phone. They think by putting it over their face, they're going to open up the phone. This is just a phone.
Interesting. No, I haven't heard that.
There is no energy. If I put my face to it now, there's energetic beams and signals going. Happens all the time. They put that phone over the deceased. They cannot open the phone. If your heart was touched today, then we know that you got a heart. Because, man, if it didn't tug at your heartstrings hearing about what you're doing, Sean, I'm going to pray for you. I really will. Because this is a way that's helping so many people. And the suicide rate is out of control. And I know it's not something, we don't want to look at it. We don't want to face it. Yet we can do something about it. And I love that you have a dream. And the very first time I met you, you talked about that dream. And that's what I love the most. You're willing to talk about it wherever you go. We appreciate you talking about it with us today and helping us to become more. Because by serving others, we actually become more. It helps our brain to expand, to think bigger, and it puts great endorphins into our systems that actually makes us healthy. So if you're not feeling real good, if you're feeling like a victim somewhere, somehow, go and serve. Go and serve somewhere. And you'll be surprised how better you will feel, how much greater your health will be. And I know that's why you're healthy. You're out there serving all the time. And please feel it in your heart to just give a donation or come out to Hog Heaven and be part of this great thing that's happening. For that mission statement tugged at my heart. And I just appreciate everything you're.
Thank you so much, Diane.
If you've liked this episode, be sure and hit that subscription button below and listen on how you can become more from all the various people that we interview. Thanks so much for being part of this, and we'll see you next Tuesday.